It is impossible to achieve social justice without first eliminating the desire to take and replacing it with a willingness to die. Let me explain further. You see, it's impossible to achieve social justice without first eliminating the desire to take, to selfishly guard ourselves, or to demand our own way. For us to truly be a people who embrace justice, we must possess a willingness to give, a willingness to risk for someone else, and a willingness to sacrifice our agenda for another's benefit. Helen Keller once stated, "Until the great mass of the people shall be filled with the sense of responsibility for each other's welfare, social justice can never be attained." You see, life without divine intervention is driven primarily by three influences. These forces are selfishness, self-preservation, and self-determination. When these forces are in control, our life decisions are motivated by what benefits us, protects us from injury or hurt, or allows us to determine our own destiny. Unfortunately, none of those serve us in building great cultures and establishing true justice. When a culture allows these forces to thrive and gain greater and greater levels of influence, the people become segregated, jealous, and angry. They desire retribution for both real and imagined injustices, and they seek revenge even more than justice. Their supposed inequities cause them to believe the only option they have is to define and defeat all that oppose them. They come to believe that the equality they desire even justifies violating another, if necessary, to achieve it. A people like this, that prefers self-centered privilege over God-ordained responsibility, is doomed to lose both the privileges it so desperately desires as well as God's favor, which could actually deliver it. You see, violating another's rights to achieve vindication for rights you feel have been denied to you creates neither equity or justice. It only increases the void between the two and produces anger and hatred and enmity that will further ensure no solution is attained. There is ancient wisdom that was once born out of a nation that had been decimated and held captive and taken into slavery time after time. It speaks of seeking justice from someone greater than the ones you feel have injured you. In Psalm 34, it states, "Worship in awe and wonder all you who have been made holy. For all who fear him will feast with plenty. Even the strong and the wealthy grow weak and hungry, but those who passionately pursue the Lord will never lack any good thing. Come, children of God, listen to me, and I'll share the lessons I've learned of fearing the Lord." In the following chapter, the author cries out to God for his deliverance and his strong arm. The author reveals and revels in the ability of God to make right what has been allowed to go wrong. He concludes this prayer with the joy he expects to experience when God has delivered him by saying, "Then my fears will dissolve into limitless joy. My whole being will overflow with gladness because of your mighty deliverance. Everything inside of me will shout it out. There's no one like you, Lord. For look at how you protect the weak and the helpless from the strong and heartless who oppress them." Instead of fighting for our rights and seeking to defeat all that oppose us, we are given a sure and certain method for attaining justice and deliverance. And we find it here in Psalm 33. Human strength and the weapons of man are false hopes for victory. They may seem mighty, but they will always disappoint. The eyes of the Lord are upon even the weakest worshipers who love Him, those who wait in hope and expectation for the strong, steady love of God. God will deliver them from death, even the certain death of famine, with no one to help. There are battles that are being fought on the streets of our cities, through the sound bites of cable news, and then the hearts of men and women who fear the future they face. All of these watching are fixated on events, promises, threats, and opinions. Yet in the midst of all of that, I'm convinced that there is an anchor of hope that is available to everyone and anyone who will simply put their trust in the God that created them and believe that He will deliver them into their purpose. The prophet Jeremiah stated it thousands of years before. "For I know the plans I have for you, says the Lord. They are plans for good and not for disaster, to give you a future and a hope. In those days when you pray, I will listen." What if we decided to live generously, love freely, forget our agendas, and seek to be valuable instead of trying to acquire valuable things? What if we decided to trust in God? I'm Lane Johnson, and this is Battle Leadership.
Hey, thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to follow us on all of our social media accounts to stay up to date with what we're doing at Battle Leadership. Thanks.